Welcome to Ontario Stacker. Today I want to talk about this shipwreck they found off the coast of Colombia. The San Jose shipwreck, dubbed the Holy Grail of shipwrecks. $20 billion of gold and silver in this thing, guys. 20 billion. Not only gold and silver, around 200 tons of gold, silver, emeralds are thought to be on board this thing. Spanish flagship, which was sunk during a skirmish with the British, 1708. I'm just reading a Daily Mail article. Unbelievable. San Jose shipwreck to be dubbed the Holy Grail, to be exhumed off the Colombia coast with 20 billion sunken treasure. Colombia declares the wreck will be raised before President Gustavo Petro's term of office ends in 2026, so 2 years. So $20 billion. That's like finding a mine. I work in mining, so everything's mining related. So I read this earlier, 3,100 feet deep. So it's basically like the government is, it costs about $1 billion to $2 billion to start a mine from scratch nowadays. That's sinking the shaft, driving the ramp, whatever you're going to do in all the infrastructure before you're going to start actually making any money. Most nice ore bodies are 20 to 30 billion. So these guys are going to get $20 billion of processed gold and silver and emeralds as a little bonus if they can figure out how to get that up from the bottom of the ocean. 3,100 feet, which is about 3,000 to 4,000 feet is the average depth of a mine in Northern Ontario. Some going on 8,000 feet here in Sudbury area, but most of them went down to 4,000. So it's kind of like finding a mine site. But let's go into the story here. So, but it's not as simple as that. Colombia has declared that it's theirs, but then they got competing claims from the Spain, Bolivia, and the U.S. company, which claimed they found it first. So basic story is the Holy Grail of shipwrecks containing up to 200 tons of gold, silver, and emeralds could be floating on the Caribbean within a month of Colombia, after Colombia declared a national mission to recover the treasure. The Spanish galleon San Jose sank off the Colombian port of Cartagena after its powder mags detonated during a skirmish with the British in 1708. So this is old Spanish gold. Not only is it worth the weight, like imagine the numismatic value of some old conquistador Spanish gold. So on board the treasure, worth up to $20 billion in today's money, along with 600 sailors who died. They all died but 11 who went down with the ship. So 11 guys survived out of 611. 2015, the Colombian government announced that a team of Navy divers had discovered the legendary ship lying off in nearly 3,100 feet of water. Last year, another team brought back jaw-dropping images of perfectly preserved cargo. I'll grab a couple of these photos, see if I can throw it into this video and post, but we'll see. Now the Colombian government has said its release, it will be raised before President Gustavo Petro ends his term in office 2026. So most mines, you know, you're like 10 to 15 year life. Sometimes they mine them a little faster. They think in 2 years they're going to have $20 billion worth of processed gold and silver on surface. So obviously they're going after it. It's a no-brainer. It's worth going for now. But the problem here they have is they got a lawsuit with this American research company, the Glaucomora. Claims it found the San Jose in 1981 and then turned the coordinates over to Colombians on the condition it would receive half of the fortune once the vessel was recovered. But the Colombians aren't going for that. They're saying, but they said it was actually discovered in 2015 by Colombia's then president, Juan Manuel Santos, who said the Navy had found the boat at a different location of the seabed. So an argument on exactly where they found it. So the Glaucomora, now called Sea Search Armada, is suing for half of the treasure, around $10 billion. Okay, it's worth going for a lawsuit. $10 billion, wow. But the Colombian Minister of Culture, Juan David Correa, so the government's team had visited the coordinates given by Sea Search Armada and found no trace of the San Jose. So they're not giving up $10 billion, as if. Imagine that, you pull all up out of the off the bottom of the ocean and somebody else wants half of it. Complicating matters further, there are competing claims from Spain, who actually owns it. It was owned by the Spanish king. And Bolivia's indigenous Cora nation, which says its peoples were forced to mine the gold and jewels. So the treasures really belong to them. So everybody wants a little piece of that, I'm sure. You never know, I'm not sure. They might share some of that. Meanwhile, Colombia has hailed the find a huge historic and cultural achievement. I'm sure this is a super famous ship, the San Jose. I don't know much about it. Maybe I'll research a bit more. Who knows? But if this is the holy grail of shipwrecks, $20 billion worth of gold and silver. Wow, unbelievable. So I'll throw a couple of pics in here. Imagine that, 20 billion. How much gold and silver is sitting at the bottom of an ocean somewhere? I wonder. Anyway, an article I thought was cool. Thanks for checking it out, guys. Ontario Stacker out.